plugins. So first of all, if you open up Firefox, I usually use Firefox. It's up there with the big browsers, so it has support and things like that and funding. I don't use Chrome because Chrome, we're doing some things about blocking ad block and things like that. So I think in the future it will be something that I can recommend. So no more sponsored shortcuts, no more stories, no shortcuts, no recommended stories, no recent activity. Close, and we will start with the plugins. So limit my tab. It stops you from having too many tabs. It's pretty self-explanatory. So we go here, go here, go here, manage extension, preferences. I want to put this to set it to 2 and globally. You can change this around for how you feel, but newest is good, no sound is good. Disable toggle off, you can do that if you're interested in. I might do that and see how it goes. I haven't really used this much, but I think it will be good because you can only think one thought at a time. So that'll be good. So now least recent. Play around with this. It's up for you. It's up to you. And newest might be better so that I don't realize I can't find another. Social for Firefox. And you can use this for all sorts of social media. YouTube, by the way, does count as social media because it is kind of imitating social stuff. I think most people use history, so that's why they accept all, and I'm just going to accept all here and try searching to get started. It's going to start like feeding your algorithm recommendations. So first things we go to here. Gray mode is great. Gray mode is really good. Gray mode stops you from it makes a thing less addictive to your mind because it sees more colors and it gets more glued into it. That's kind of how Cocomelon works. Why it's so addictive, especially for kids, because they just see all the hypersaturated colors. I mean, hypersaturated is not really a thing. It's pretty much saturated as much as it can go. Usually, you can set daily limits. I think that's good if you're struggling with it. This is kind of my work computer, so I won't leave that on. Hide suggestions on video page. Hide video page sidebar. In fact, while I turn these on, I can show you what they are. Media.
The American.
Go here. Hide suggestions. Hide video sidebar. Video suggestions on video page. Hide suggestions on video page. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I'm sure it's good to hide it. Hide shorts videos. Hide comments. This you can leave on if you want. Hide explore. Hide subscriptions if your subscriptions are not good. Hide video Instagram. I don't think this one works, but oh well. Hide thumbnails. That's really good. Hide banner ads. So I'll show you what the thumbnail looks like. See, all of the thumbnails I've got. See. And now you're just reading this, and if it sounds bad, and it won't be as addictive. So what's a good addictive thing? Make money online. So how to actually make money online. Why is it so hard to make money online? How to actually make money online. You know, the thumbnail, the titles without the thumbnails sometimes don't hit as well, as hard and sound. You know, like once I add the thumbnail in, $600 a day. That looks really cool. And then as soon as I touch it starts playing. You know, why is it so hard? He's looking behind a castle. You know, $2,000. You know, see all of that. It's all of that we just don't need. We don't need. I strongly suggest you not to do that. Not to have those thumbnails. I think it makes a huge difference. Okay, so this might be a bit controversial. So I'm not going to actually install this one. I'm not sure if it's with the TOS. I don't. It's a bit of a scary subject because obviously websites don't like using uBlock Law Engine. I almost always have that. It's one of the first things I install as a plugin, regardless of if I'm on an Android phone, which we'll get to smartphones and why I don't use them. But this is something is out there. And any social media should be changed with this Taper Monkey. It's essentially you write little scripts in like, I guess, JavaScript, and there's a community that do stuff for you. So like Taper Monkey, LinkedIn distractions. See, here's a Grease Monkey script for cleanup. Remove suggestion posts, like things like that. If you can't find a plugin for it on Firefox, there's probably a Taper Monkey script, and if there's not a Taper Monkey script already, you can probably figure out how to make one. I hope my tone is correct. I mean this all in. I really think that people live their better lives when they're not as addicted to social media. Let's talk a little bit about ETH. There is nothing you can do in life that always gives pleasure or frustration, effort. Certain things are really fun and they're always fun. The reason why they're like that is you're kind of paying a debt, right? You're taking out a loan. You're not paying a debt, sorry. You're taking out a loan. You're taking out a loan saying, I don't want to feel what I'm feeling right now, and I'll pay you back double later. But right now, I don't want to feel this pain. And then later, you feel even more pain, and you take the loan out with addictions and social media. Yeah. And other relaxing activities will be boring and tiring at first as you are not experienced like the activities, but they will be good for you in the long term. And so I wanted to think about the three modes of existence. So in spiritual traditions like Hinduism, there's three modes of it: material existence, material nature, something like that. Three modes of material nature, and yeah, three modes of material nature. So they are goodness and passion. So addiction falls under this. Addiction, it's like the things, like the distraction things that we're talking about. Goodness, you can think of that as addictions. Yeah, I think loans are good. Excuse me. Kind of material loans. So people usually say eating spicy foods are in the mode of passion. I don't think so. I think this kind of idea and framework has to kind of adapt. But essentially, there's nothing that can be good now and good later in this sense, in this material sense. If something is good, it takes effort to get to. And if something is just good now, it's almost definitely going to be difficult later. So, for example, eating chocolate cake, binging YouTube. Goodness is like an investment. Ignorance is like just lose, really. It's like, it's a good example of this. It's like, I don't know, drinking paint. I don't know. That's a really crazy example, but I hope you understand. It's mostly a joke. Yeah, like doing something incredibly disruptive. Just because if something's good now, it almost necessarily means it could be bad later. But if something is bad now, doesn't necessarily mean it's bad later. So this kind of comes into this. It's like nectar. No, it's like poison at the start, nectar end. So it's essentially an investment. Like poison at the start, poison the end. Like nectar at the start, poison end. And nothing is like nectar the start. Otherwise, you would just be like, we'll just be in a loop of keeping on doing it. Like we would get crazy dependent on it. It's a nice thing to think about. Again, it's a model, so everything might not exactly fit into this model. For example, sometimes like drinking water feels great to drink water, and then most people are underhydrated. But then again, even that kind of explains the point that even if I'm drinking water, I'm not compelled to drink water until I'm thirsty, until I'm in some sort of pain, and I'm not compelled to, and I'm not like feeling a lot of pleasure from drinking water to the point where I'm drinking water all the time. That process happens when you start taking care of yourself and drinking water like as a habit first. You kind of have to almost force yourself to drink enough water. Yeah, so other activities may be boring at first, like reading a book. It's going to be difficult, but keep reading and it will be really good for you. It's good to have leisure activities that are actually helpful rather than completely switching your brain off and letting it go haywire. Okay. And yeah, let me talk a little bit about the neuroscience. I want to show you, I'll give you an explanation of this video in my own interpretation as a non-clinical person, a non-trained person, but then is trained. Some hide suggestion. So this neuroscience part is based on Dr. K's deep dive into addiction. This video is a huge deep dive, huge deep dive on everything, but I'll give you like the essential rundown that I think is what I got from it essentially. The frontal lobe is your kind of higher self, your kind of angel on your shoulder kind of thing. Executive functioning, predictive error processing, the good wolf in that good wolf, bad wolf story. So what do I mean by predictive error processing? So like I know the consequences of if I start using TikTok today, I could potentially ruin the whole day, probably 2 days of just scrolling through TikTok on my phone. However, this gets kind of, your frontal lobe system gets attacked by your other systems, like your primal system, like your limbic system and stuff like that. He goes into more detail on like, so whatever craving you're having, like a specific craving you're having has an impact on certain parts of yourself. Like when you're feeling like lonely, you desire some sort of stimulation, emotional or mental stimulation. So watching a movie helps me, making goals and things like that. So nucleus accumbens is your dopamine center kind of thing. That's why I thought about, and also like anticipation. You know, when you're scrolling through YouTube, you spend like most of your time scrolling. For example, if I undid everything, I'll be like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, let's just scroll through shorts. This. And the shorts thing, it kind of learns on what you're scrolling through. So if I thought this was more interesting, I'd watch it throughout the end. I'd like try to like, maybe it recommends that. I'll maybe search the comments, and then I don't want to see bodybuilding, exercise stuff. I'm more interested in skateboarding. I'm not interested in that. I want to see skateboarding. I want to see skateboarding. So like I'm looking. The point is I'm looking for dopamine. Like, let's say 10 videos I watched, only one of them was good. So it's like a dopamine slot machine. And that gives me dopamine. It's like, oh, when am I going to see a good video? When am I going to see a good video? I'm going to reject this video, reject it. If I went and YouTube constantly gave me the video that I wanted, it wouldn't be as dopaminergic. I hope I'm saying that right. So it won't give me that same dopamine. And attention deficit is why you kind of forget and lose your attention. Okay. If you have a smartphone, what should you do? What should you do if you have a smartphone? I would save a 16-number PIN password. So change your phone password to a 16+ number PIN, and write that number on a file on a laptop, and don't commit this to memory. So if you ever need it, use that number on your laptop. Essentially, don't use a smartphone. I'd rather use a emulator. In my experience, in my experience, this is better. I personally use the Waydroid, because like it's the same with the kind of attention deficit, or rather the dopamine, the nucleus accumbens. Like, I deleted every single app, internet browser, everything that I thought was addictive. I still spent an hour, maybe 2 hours, just scrolling through and flicking through my phone, because when I flicked it up, it went up and opened up the app drawer, and when I flicked it down, I just wanted to distract myself, and that gave me a bit of a distraction. So I realized from that I can't use a smartphone healthily. I've always tried to use a smartphone healthily. It's never worked out in the years that I've used one. And yeah, so use an emulator on your phone. I use Waydroid for like things like WhatsApp. It's helpful because something I didn't talk about is deep work. I don't know if I have no, I don't. Deep work by Newport. Focus hard, study, move as many directions. Okay. And yeah, I am still here. I just want to add all of this. Support is great. It's kind of revolutionized a lot of the way we think about studying. And yeah, so that's kind of related. Is that all? I think that is all from me today. I thank you so much for your attention and your time. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you have a good day. Yeah, take care. I wish you the best.